Welcome back to Good Revenue. I thought it might be interesting to follow up our recent episode on the effectiveness of messaging, specifically as it relates to willingness to pay and pricing power, by talking a little bit more about the role of emotions in decision making, because it's such an important factor, and I don't know if it gets enough attention. Thanks for joining us today. At the heart of human decision making lies a powerful force that transcends cultural and individual differences. While we often pride ourselves on rationality, peer-reviewed research consistently shows that emotions form the bedrock of our decision-making process, and this research goes back decades now. Basic emotions like anger, fear, joy, sadness, disgust, and surprise are considered innate to all humans, and they're universal across cultures. These emotions are associated with specific facial expressions, and they are recognizable worldwide, which is one of the many ways in which we really are the same, regardless of where we live. Emotions are universal and recognizable, although the interpretation of their intensity may vary by culture, according to research from 2021. Emotions aren't just peripheral influences on our lives. They're designed to be decision-making tools, rapidly condensing experiences and evaluating situations to inform our immediate responses. Scientists have identified several fundamental ways that emotions shape our decision-making process. We talked about these in the prior episode, but we'll do a quick recap in case you haven't heard that one. First, speed of processing. Our brains process emotions faster than rational thoughts, according to research from 1996. We create somatic markers or emotional bookmarks that help us make quicker decisions, according to research from 1994. We're more sensitive to potential losses than equivalent gains. That's from 1979. We tend to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs from 1990. And we often make judgments based on emotional reactions rather than careful analysis. That's from 2007. Emotions help us process information. Peer-reviewed research reveals that our emotional state significantly impacts how we process information. Positive moods actually lead to less focused information searches and more optimistic risk assessments. For instance, foreign exchange traders in good moods showed less accuracy, higher losses, and unnecessary risk-taking compared to those in neutral or negative moods, according to research from 2016. Negative moods result in more focused and thorough information processing, particularly in high-risk situations, from the same research. Let's talk about the dual nature of emotional influence. Emotions affect our decisions through two primary channels. The first is integral emotions. These arise from the decision itself. For example, if we are feeling anxious about a risky choice, that might drive us to make safer choices next time. That's from a 2014 study. Or incidental emotions, which are unrelated feelings that carry over from an experience. So for example, we're angry about one situation and we bring that emotion into something unrelated. Also from 2014. Contrary to popular belief, emotions aren't always bad for decision making. A 2007 study found that individuals who experienced more intense feelings achieved higher decision-making performance. Furthermore, those participants better able to identify and distinguish their feelings actually showed enhanced decision-making abilities through better bias control from research in 2007. Different emotions lead to distinct decision-making patterns. Anger leads to optimistic risk perceptions and risk-seeking choices from 2014. Fear promotes more risk-averse choices, also from 2014. Anticipated regret leads to more conservative choices, 2007. Schadenfreude can lead to more practical choices compared to simple happiness or sadness, 2016. Sadness tends to increase depth of processing and reduce reliance on heuristics, 2014, and disgust can increase reliance on heuristics and reduce our depth of processing, also from 2014. In addition to all of this science, I think it's really helpful to see some of the practical applications of emotions and decision making in the real world. Here are several different examples across all sorts of industries that might be helpful in bringing this to life. First of all, in consumer behavior, emotional responses to ads better predict behavior than self-reported responses, according to research from 2015. Impulse purchases are primarily driven by emotions like excitement or desire from 2016. Consumer purchasing decisions are heavily influenced by emotional factors like brand loyalty, nostalgia, and social status, also from 2016. A 2013 study by the Corporate Executive Board, which is now owned by Gartner, for Google, had some surprising findings that are still referenced today. It revealed that B2B brands drive stronger emotional connections than B2C brands. Why? Higher stakes in B2B purchases create stronger emotional bonds, according to this research, due to the increased risk of making the wrong decision or a bad decision. There's additional information about emotions and decision making in the Jolt effect, which you may have heard me refer to in prior episodes, and which I continue to think is a really helpful resource. Switching gears to some other industries. In public health, fear-based anti-smoking campaigns show higher effectiveness than informational approaches from 2005. In finance, participants without access to the emotional processing centers of the brain made better financial choices than control subjects in a 2005 study. Financial markets are heavily influenced by collective emotions such as fear and greed. That one might not be surprising, from 2016. In politics, music and images in television ads evoke different emotions. So when the text remains the same, but the music or the creative changes, the emotional response of viewers changes. Politically informed people are more easily swayed by emotions, more so than less informed people, which is probably surprising to folks like myself who tend to be pretty politically informed. And finally, the emotions of political leaders often shape geopolitical events. That is also probably not surprising from research in 2007. In the legal field, jurors' emotional responses can influence verdicts more than factual evidence, from 2007. In education, emotional engagement better predicts learning outcomes than cognitive factors. That's from 2014. In the medical field, patients often make treatment choices based on emotional factors rather than statistical outcomes, or what we would call hard data, from 2014. And in charitable giving, emotional stories with identifiable victims drive more donations than items without such stories. That's from 2007. The research also provides a few strategies for better decision making so that you make the most of your emotions, or if you're on the flip side of this and you're in an organization seeking to influence the behavior of customers, buyers, or a target audience, that you're making the best use of this information in an ethical way. First of all, the research shows that practicing emotional differentiation is very important. Second, recognize emotions' adaptive role while staying aware of potential biases. And third, consider both immediate and emotional impact and long-term consequences. Researchers also found evidence of some strategies that can help us make better decisions, keeping in mind the power of emotion. First, increasing awareness of the source of one's emotions can reduce their impact on unrelated judgments. Second, cognitive reappraisal strategies can be effective in regulating emotions and their effects on decision making. Both of those are from 2014. Understanding the intricate relationship between emotions and decision making reveals a more nuanced picture than the traditional rational versus emotional dichotomy might suggest. While emotions can lead to biases, they also serve as essential tools for effective decision making, helping us process information quickly and navigate complex choices. The research shows that emotional awareness and regulation, rather than emotional suppression, leads to better outcomes and better decisions. This has profound implications for both personal and professional contexts. From B2B sales to public health campaigns, successful outcomes often depend on understanding and properly leveraging emotional influences. You may have heard the common phrase, we buy with emotion and backfill with logic. It's not just a maxim. It's a reflection of our fundamental decision-making nature as humans. supported by decades of research. This has profound implications for both personal and professional contexts. Successful outcomes often depend on us understanding and properly leveraging emotional influences. The key isn't that we should suppress or minimize our emotions, but that we have better emotional awareness and regulation strategies. Thanks again for joining us at Good Revenue. We'll see you here soon. Thanks so much for listening to Good Revenue. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to the show, give us a rating, or leave us a review. It helps other listeners find us, and we really appreciate your support. You can also catch full videos and highlights on our YouTube channel.